Hey, Mike B. Rolling here. Just want to do a quick video. I got a comment from a guy who said, had to take some notes here to make sure I get it right. Said he had a chunk of cash in a T600 truck that needs an engine and a transmission and a few miscellaneous things. He's wondering if it would be better to invest the money in the T600 or buy what was it, a Model 570, whatever, that's the Peterbilt. That's a quick one. That's easy. That T600 all day long. Here's why. Number one, that Peterbilt is going to be a newer truck. It's going to have DPF. You're going to have massive maintenance costs with that truck. You're going to have situations where it lights the dash up, derates the power. You send it to the shop. These newer trucks are just not reliable. I would never buy one. I'd buy an old truck 100 times over before I buy that new truck. Kind of break it down for you. You're talking it's all the details I had, so I'm going to, kind of assume a few things here. Number one, $56K in cash. Congratulations. Not many people can do that. So you're already 10 steps ahead of most people. But you're talking a T600. So the newest that truck would be an 07. They stopped making the 600. So if it's an 07, it's going to have at the very newest, it would have the first generation ISX with the independent fuel rails, which is a good engine. Just has a EGR valve is the only emissions control, and those are simple. I mean, once a year they might go out and it's like $1,200, slap a new one on there. EGR valve's not that problem. That first generation ISX was a pretty good engine. I would buy one. Or if you have a Caterpillar engine, it's going to be a twin turbo Acert C15, solid engine, very solid engine. I'd rebuild that thing 100 times over. Or it could have an N14 Select Plus, like I got out in the Beast. Very good engine. Heck, I mean, unless maybe it's a Mutant, it might even have a 12.7 Detroit. But anyway you slice it, to overhaul that N14, you're talking. Now, don't go to a dealership. You go to a dealer, you're going to spend 25 to 30 grand on just about any engine you take them. You don't go to a dealership. Find you a good shade tree mechanic. I say shade tree mechanic. I mean some small mom and pop shop, not some big dealer shop that's going to charge you $130 an hour. Find a good ask around. I'm sure you know some people that's taking their equipment and they trust the mechanic. Take it to a shop like that. But to rebuild a N14 Select Plus, nowadays you're going to spend, as long as you don't get silly and do all the injectors and you definitely want to do the water pump, but injectors and them old engines, people will tell you to change the injectors, and injectors are very simple. They either work or they don't. They don't fade. They either leak or they don't. They fire properly or they don't. So if the engine, but I mean, if you knew the engine before and you knew the injectors were good, then you don't need to change them. But if you do want to change them, I can tell you, because I just did a 6-pack of injectors on my N14, and it was $1,800, and that was installed. So if you're doing an overhaul, just to buy the injectors, I believe was $1,400, $1,300 or $1,400. It's actually quite affordable compared to the new common fuel rail ISX that was in my 2013. The injectors for that were $1,000 a pop. But you can rebuild that N14 Select Plus for roughly, at a good mechanic shop, 20 grand, possibly a little under. And that's, you don't need a new turbo. You definitely want to do a new water pump. Anybody who overhauls an engine is going to tell you got to have all new water hoses. You don't want to take any chances on blowing those engines up. N14, I'm going to say more like 17 grand for an N14, and that's a serious overhaul, total in-frame major. Caterpillar, you're talking time you buy the kit and, same deal, same mechanic, probably 20 to 22, 23, somewhere in that area. Maybe 25, but it's slightly less. That ISX is going to be around, pretty close to the Cat. It's going to be around 20 grand, roughly. But you're talking 20 grand, just round it up, say 20 grand for an engine. Transmission, you can go to a company like LKQ's, a junkyard. They pull transmissions out of salvage trucks. They rebuild them, reman the transmissions. I just did my 13-speed, bought a remand out of LKQ up in Watsika, Illinois. And I bought the transmission for $2,100, I think it was. $2,200 bucks. reman transmission, ready to go brand new. The miscellaneous, I don't know, miscellaneous can add up pretty quick. So I don't know how much miscellaneous we're talking, but with 56,000, you could do the engine and have a fresh rebuilt engine that's good for 1.4, 1.5 million miles. Transmission's good for a million, million five. Right there's your number one and number two largest maintenance items that you'll ever have on a truck is the engine and transmission. Everything else is much more affordable. But you'll have at the end of doing that, you'll have a T600, which is an 07 or older, that's not going to have all this electronic crap on it, that's going to have fresh engine, fresh transmission, that's ready to go for the next 12 to 13 years. It's just a matter of keeping up with bushings and shocks and, the occasional electric switch or whatever, miscellaneous little stuff. I would go with that T600 all day long. Much better investment. And at the end of that investment, you'll have a much better truck to show for it. So just wanted to throw that video in there, throw a quick video out there as an answer because I didn't want to have to type all that, brother. Anyway, you guys like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. We'll catch you later.